Have you ever been so determined to achieve a goal that you would sacrifice 4 months of the year to doing so? Well, this is how I viewed the TOC, the Tournament of Champions, a tournament where the last 6 teams standing in New Jersey compete for the state championship title. We made it all the way to the final game junior year and lost, and as devastating as it was my fuel for senior year. An underrated team with ambitious goals shocked the state each and every game we played, and we were slowly reaching the finish point to winning our first ever TOC title. However, my season was cut short and I didn't reach my goal, but that doesn't mean the entire season leading up to it was a waste. It is important to set goals to keep us driven to succeed and to create legacies we wish to leave behind, but that shouldn't come at the expense of overlooking the journey it took to get there. Without a goal, there is no process, but without the process, the goal is unachievable. We can only control the second it is now, so it is up to us to make the most of it. Now, I'm sure many of you are concerned with getting into a good college and have probably based an upcoming year's class schedule on what you think would appeal best to colleges. So, what's the point? When you enroll in high school and your guidance counselors are telling you how much fun school is and how great your teachers are, what does it all matter if we aren't picking classes based on personal interest, but rather what we think would appeal best for colleges, or rather what our parents think we should take to ensure a successful career? The first time I experienced this type of situation was my freshman year of high school when my friend and I were picking out elective classes. My friend asked me what class I was going to take, and I said graphic design because A, I have a passion for graphic design, but B, being the lazy and carefree 14-year-old that I was, I didn't want to do any extra work outside the classroom, and how could I if the software we used was on the school computers? That's when my friend literally gasped and said, "How is graphic design ever going to help you in life? Colleges want to see you engage in debate and model UN, things that are actually relevant." I was stunned. This is when it hit me that kids as young as 14 or maybe even younger are so concerned with where they're going to be in a few years rather than now that they aren't picking classes based on personal interest. For some, the main focus of high school has shifted from making lifelong friendships, being mentored by wise teachers, and exploring new realms of study to making sure that each and every grade put into the gradebook will be beneficial towards college. You can't get time back. A lot of people lose years and years of their lives worrying about ways to be successful, following a societal pattern otherwise known as the human rat race, and do not enjoy their lives. The human rat race, a perspective first proposed by American author and journalist Daniel Lang in 1953, is an analogy to one's modern work habits. Excessive or obsessive work without gaining any meaning or happiness. High school electives are being picked for others' standards instead of personal pleasure. Enjoying childhood is dismissed due to stressing over college since the age of 14 years old, and the stress continues after college to find a high-paying job for the next 30 years, which may or may not be enjoyable. Society's norm of superior expectations has engulfed us in this rat race, and thus many people prioritize high-paying jobs over jobs they would prefer to do for less money. This is not the case for everyone, but it is a common thought for children growing up to be as financially successful as possible. Life is a journey, not a destination. This is a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, an American philosopher who led the Transcendentalist movement in the mid-1800s. Although Transcendentalism focuses on a connection with nature, its main focus is on the well-being of people outside of the workplace. Emerson and other philosophers in this movement presented this idea of enjoying our time on Earth instead of staying so consumed in this rat race. This is to say that people are so stuck on one goal, ultimate success, always looking down the road, that they never learn to appreciate the moment they are in. Emerson expresses the essence of life to be living in the moment. Instead of relying on one success that is built upon throughout life, the journey of life, through every accomplishment and downfall, is much more valuable. These ideas are not new. In fact, aging as far back as 500 BC, and display another aspect that living in the moment presents us with, the key to happiness. Lao Tzu, an ancient Chinese philosopher who advocated on the role of people in society, quotes, "If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present." Michael Jordan didn't make his varsity high school basketball team sophomore year of high school. Did this make him a bad player? No. And better yet, just because one of his goals wasn't accomplished doesn't mean the journey it took to get there was a waste. His years of hard work, teammates that became brothers, coaches that became mentors, and determination to succeed do not diminish because he didn't reach his end goal. The entire experience only contributed to his future success, leading to his more common name, the greatest of all time. So, as I reiterate, was my entire season a waste because we didn't win the state championship? Absolutely not. Every day, my team and I put in hours of hard work, hours that made us better players, individually and as a team. Each hour on the court brought us closer together, and I can't even remember the countless of hours outside of basketball that made this team a family. My coaches dedicated these 4 months solely to our growth as players and as a team, but most importantly, as individuals. What I've learned in these past 4 months with my friends that will last a lifetime is that just because there's no trophy to cap it all, doesn't mean I didn't win a prize. If you only love what's to come, when the time comes, you will have already looked past this and begin focusing on the next event. Therefore, the goal you are looking forward to won't be enjoyed when it's achieved, because in that moment of achievement, you will be focused on the next future goal. If you learn to live in the moment, I guarantee you will enjoy your life to the fullest, because you will appreciate the now, not the later. My advice to all of you is to set goals, be driven, but don't let it come at the expense of everything learned and experienced on the journey it took to get there. Every day, to every second, love the ups, the downs, the in-between, and the moment. Thank you.